Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out Am I the A-hole? Story 1. AITA for refusing that my sick mother-in-law to move in my house. I am a mother of 4 children aging from 10 to 16 and I work in marketing. Our house is pretty decent in size, each 2 of the 4 kids share a room, then my husband and I bedroom. So in total we have 3 sleeping rooms and no extras for sleeping. My husband's mother been sick for quite a while and she needs to be taken care of 24/7. That's why my husband got her a personal nurse and caretaker. Recently my husband been tired of paying the nurse and his mother's rent, he suggested she moves in with us so he wouldn't pay her rent and only pay for the nurse. As I said, our house is already packed with the 6 of us, so bringing his mother and the nurse would be 8. Our house can't handle that and we do not have enough rooms. Also his mother cannot sit down, she always has to lie in bed and we don't have any possible extra bed or space to put a new bed in. Husband suggested that she stays in my youngest kid's room that only has 2 beds, so my kids, 10 and 12, to sleep on one bed while his mother takes the other one, and I straight up refused and told him I won't disturb my kids' comfort like that and we still won't have a place for the nurse. He told me I stay at home and quit my job so he can cut off the nurse and I take care of his mother. I told him how about he takes care of his mother and quit to stay at home, and he said no. She hasn't moved in yet, I won't allow it, the house already feels small for us 6. Also I have 3 more brother-in-laws, one of them lives alone and isn't married, so my husband is not her only child, yet he is the one who paid for the nurse and the rent alone. I asked him to tell his brothers to help, he refused, his pride didn't allow him to ask them for help, but he was completely fine with asking me to quit my job so he wouldn't pay for a nurse and to ask me to pack the house more because he can't pay her rent. This been going on for so long and he called me heartless for refusing her to move in. I told him she can move in if we get ourselves a bigger house, then he proceeded to call me ungrateful for what I have. I don't have a problem with her personally, but I don't want to suffocate at home and don't want to shove in 2 of my kids in one bed, neither do I want to quit my job. AITA. Story 2. WIBTA if I tell my 30M cousin, 29F, that she is marrying an ex-schoolmate, 30M, who's in the closet. My cousin and I are very close to a point where when her mother died, my mother became sort of like another mother to her. When she announced that her boyfriend is going to propose, we were so happy for her and somewhat surprised to hear she had a boyfriend. In my country, when you were to be engaged, the male side will send an engagement party to the female's house, without the boyfriend coming along, as a formal way to ask for her hand. Only after the engagement ceremony is finished the boyfriend can come over. Imagine my shock when I see my ex-schoolmate is actually my cousin's now fiancé. My ex-schoolmate and I used to be buddy at our boarding school. That is until I caught him in flagranti in the school toilet with another one of my friend. He confessed that he's a closeted gay, and from there, our relationship turned very tense since he's afraid I'll out him. For the record, until today, I've never tell anyone the things that I saw that day. After school, we lost contact and went our separate ways. The cons: if I told her, I'll basically outing my ex-schoolmate and there's no telling what will happen. I'll be risking my ex-schoolmate life since our country is a conservative country. On the other hand, the cons of letting him marry my cousin: I'll be condemning my cousin to a loveless marriage with someone who is incapable to love her back, and worst of all, she might end up hating me if she found out I knew about that secret. I'll be sacrificing mine and my family's relationship with her, which is something I don't want to do or sacrifice. This made me very much wanted to tell my cousin about this matter to avoid future heartbreak. So WIBTA. Story 3. WIBTA if I sent a message to an ex to apologize after 10+ years. We were together for 6.5 years. We broke up in January 2011 because instead of talking I always found it easier to leave. I took her 20s and feel awful about it and have recently thought about reaching out on social media to apologize. She has since moved pretty far away and I am pretty sure this is just me being selfish and wishful that I may get grace from her for me being a shitbag. A lot of me believes if we would ever communicate again it should be her to reach out to me and not the other way around, and I guess I am looking for assurance this thinking is fucked on my part. Story 4. AITA for being mad at my friend and quitting our club. So for context I, 14F, am in high school. Me and my friends are hoping to start a Dungeons and Dragons club, as it hasn't been done in our school. The problem is my friend Jimmy, 14M, has been chosen to be the leader because he really wants to do this. But he can't really handle confrontation, uneasy face. The club has two other officers, Stacy, 15F, and Richie, 15M. Neither of them have really been doing their jobs, so me and Jimmy were talking about voting to kick Richie out. But word got around to Richie and both Stacy and Jimmy told Richie that it was my idea to take his job away from him and to get mad at me, not them. Pretty cowardly because it was a group collaboration and Jimmy claims to be my bestie. Stacy I expected it from but not Jimmy. I got pretty mad and told Jimmy to stay away from me. But then Jimmy's brother yelled at me because I know he's a coward. It's in his nature, so it's not fair to hold it against him. I told him I was allowed to feel however I wanted towards the situation, and he just went on and on about how it's just how he is, so I can't get mad. The club is too much drama for me anyways, so I'm leaving leadership this afternoon. Jimmy will want me to stay, but he threw me under the bus for petty drama. And I just don't see it as worth it. But AITA for getting mad at my friend? Story 5. AITA for not tipping after the server short-changed me. This happened this weekend. I was out with my brother having lunch and we had dinner at a sushi place. Our bills came to about $31-ish each, I don't remember the exact number. I paid in cash with two $20 bills, so the change should have been $9. Again, it was closer to $8 and then a bunch of coins, but I don't remember the exact amount. The server came back with my change and as he left I started to pick up my coins, but I noticed things didn't add up. I had gotten a $5 bill back and then a bunch of coins, but after I counted, the total came to about $6.30. I called the server back and explained I was missing some change and he told me that he had given me the correct amount and then quickly left again. I considered asking for the manager, but I felt it wasn't worth the hassle and making a scene, so I just took my change and left no tip. Am I an asshole for not leaving a tip? Story 6. AITA for not going to my father's for the 24th of December. I, 16F, and my father, 46M, have a very rocky relationship. My parents separated when I was younger. My mother has full custody and my father has visits. In Canada, when you turn 14, you can decide if you want to visit the parent or choose where you live. I still live with my mother and I don't visit my father. The last time was for my birthday in November. Worst weekend ever. I didn't visit for 6 months before that. He spent time with his girlfriend and not his daughter that he hasn't seen for half a year and wanted to borrow my birthday money to buy stuff that you can easily live without. I did not give him the money. After that weekend, I sent him a long email saying how I felt. He replied saying he wanted to talk about this in person because he loved me too much. So, I practically hate my father. He's never treated me well since I was young. Monday, he texted me asking if I was going to be there on the 24th. I said I'll see. I felt bad that day and didn't want to deal with his attitude. And then he went on to say we're going to see Auntie, her name, and then we're going to go see my childhood friends. Honestly, it's wrong of you to not come. Just saying that I haven't seen my childhood friends for several years. I just replied with okay, I'll see, and he left it at that. The next day, I was on the bus and he sends me an image. It was the mother of my childhood friends saying, well, the kids know you and me and my brother, 18M, are coming and the kids, childhood friends, are excited so they don't have a choice to come. Then, my father replied with yes. I didn't answer to that because that's a threat technically and I didn't want to deal with him. I felt so much pressure that I went to go see an adult and talked. She told me that I should do what I want to do. In the evening, I text my father saying no, I will not be coming and thank you for accepting my choice. He proceeded to answer I'm sorry to be such a bad person or something like that. He then said well, have a great holiday and I love you. I answered thank you, you too. He kept texting me and said something that was hard to understand. I think he wanted me to explain why but not this evening? It was a drunk text probably. So, AITA? Story 7. Update, AITA for bringing my daughter to my in-laws party. Original post. I spoke to both my wife and daughter separately. My daughter said that she does sometimes feel like my wife excludes her slightly or treats her different from her brother. She did also mention how sometimes my in-laws aren't nice to her and make. Story 8. AITA for telling my family to stop giving my sister backhanded compliments. So I 23F have a sister 20F. I am currently working in engineering and my sister is getting a degree in media. As a part of this she has a carefully constructed Instagram page. She's not trying to be an influencer, her account is even private, she puts so much effort into it because she enjoys it. Recently my family had a baby shower for my cousin 26F, hosted by my aunt 57F. At the event my sister was taking photos both for my cousin and for her Instagram account, which is private and only followed by friends and family, less than 200 people total. My aunt sees my sister taking the photos and went on a rant in front of everyone about how it was disrespectful. Thankfully her daughter quickly told her that she had asked my sister to take some photos for her and she was forced to stop. However, she was clearly still mad about the whole thing and started making backhanded compliments to my sister's Instagram, saying things like the photos are nice but it's just sad how much you post. Enjoy the real world and the post are nice but you don't have the right look for it and it's so brave of you to put yourself out there looking like that. Sister was clearly upset but other family members joined in talking about how bad social media is for young people and how sister should stop posting. I finally had enough and I told my family to stop being so backhanded, and that if they didn't like social media they could stop talking about it, and stop making my sister feel bad for her passion. Saying that if the compliment comes with a criticism it is not a compliment. They obviously didn't take that very well and started a massive fight and me, my sister and mother all left early. Today I got a call from my cousin's husband who screamed at me for ruining the big event, so I told him that I didn't start anything. Aunt was just mad she got called out and that she was the one who should have apologized. So AITA. That's all for today, please don't forget to like and subscribe.